Hi, I'm Barb.
Hi, I'm Patrice.
Hi, I'm Carly.
Hi, I'm Christina.
Hi, I'm Vance.
Hi, I'm Matt.
Hi, I'm Devin.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi again, everyone. My name is Barb, and as Director of Prevention Services at Prevention is Key, I'm so happy, as are all of us at PIC, to partner again with Life Center Stage to host the second Breaking Stigma Festival so that we can bring our community together to raise awareness of the barriers stigma can create on one's journey towards recovery. Our prevention team will now let you know what each of us do to end stigma.
Here at Prevention is Key, we present factual information about substance use disorder to correct misinformation and dispel negative attitudes and beliefs that people may have.
We end stigma by conducting media campaigns like PDFNJ's Addiction Does Not Discriminate, sharing our Breaking Stigma video, creating media contests for students, and so much more.
Prevention is Key also hosts events such as these to bring communities together to raise awareness so that we can better understand and disarm stigma.
At Prevention is Key, we partner with peers to share their stories as part of a prevention program so that communities can see individuals with substance use disorders are just like them.
At Prevention is Key, we host trainings regarding stigma where language matters, and we use it in a meaningful way for all of our community to be educated on the subjects.
We advocate for stigma-free towns so that everybody knows that they are welcome here.
And we work with youth to advocate for and create anti-stigma messaging. At Prevention is Key,
We
are
In
This
Together.
We
Are
One.
For the longest time, I didn't tell people about this because I was really embarrassed.
You don't really share these things with friends and family for the most part.
My family really didn't understand what was going on.
No one ever took me seriously because I was only 11 or 12.
Like nobody really understood what was going on, and I didn't understand what was going on either, which made it 10 times worse.
I was so good at hiding what was going on the inside that no one would have ever thought to ask or to offer help.
Oh, she's anorexic, she doesn't eat, or oh, that girl's a bulimic. And you know, hearing that just from the outside world, that takes a huge toll on you when you're struggling with that.
I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 8 years old. I was kind of like a hyper kid, if you will. I had some troubles focusing, especially in school.
The first time I was put in a psych ward, I was 12 years old, and it was just a very rough road from there.
I got a diagnosis of borderline personality disorder, and there's a lot of stigma around that, where people thought that everyone with borderline is abusive.
I have always wanted to be a mother, and I had expected it to be super joyful and wonderful. And after the birth of my first in 2009, it wasn't.
I was 4 years old the first time I went into my first panic attack. The depression side of it came up probably around like 14. You know, I started feeling like depressed more so than I thought was normal, but I didn't say anything about it.
The biggest thing I know in recovery is that honesty is crucial. My eating disorder loves secrets. It thrives off of secrets. And I have to tell at least someone these thoughts that go on in my head, whether it be a journal and I read it to a therapist, or whether it be a friend or family member. I need to tell someone these thoughts, because if I don't, that they're going to, take control again. It grows in secrecy.
People deal with mental health issues and don't like to talk about it because they don't want to be looked at differently, or they don't want to be treated differently or unfairly, and they just want a fair shake at life. And I think that has a lot to do with it. But some of it is also probably just a feeling of being vulnerable. Like with people knowing so much about yourself, it kind of takes away from, that persona that sometimes you might try to put on. And so I think those factors in particular are kind of what keeps a lot of people from coming out and dealing with it on a public level.
It's my personal belief that the only way that we're gonna beat conditions like depression and addiction and eating disorders is when we meet it with understanding and compassion.
First, getting to therapy was really hard for me just because in my family that wasn't really something we did. That's why it took me so long to get into therapy in the first place, because we didn't think that that could affect our family. And the stigma around it has really stopped me sometimes.
There is this huge stigma behind mental disorders, you know, at least there was. In my head, I was like, no, that means I'm crazy, you know, like, and it singled me out and all that. And then when I started, I guess when I started listening to people and talking to people around me, I found out that like I'm not individual and I'm not unique at all. Like a lot of people suffer from what I have. I feel that when I see a sign that says stigma free, I'm like, sweet, these people get me. I don't have to be ashamed of anything.
I don't want anyone to have to go through that silence and be alone, and I want people to break through that stigma so that children especially who might be suffering or dealing with things are able to come out and speak and have a safe place and not feel scared and alone, and to have, you know, years like I did where you're just in silence.
Hi, my name is Vicki Mulligan. I'm the founder of Life Center Stage. Thank you for joining us today to break the stigma. In holding our regular programs, concerts, festivals, workshops, and performances, we have witnessed firsthand the combination of a nurturing environment, personal stories, opportunities for expression, positive socialization, and exposure to peers with lived experience promotes dramatic positive change at both the individual and community levels. Participants naturally find themselves feeling a sense of purpose. Events such as this welcome families and friends, strangers and neighbors to join together in an afternoon of entertainment, inspiration, and hope. It is my honor to present to you our second annual Break the Stigma event. Through the power of connection, personal stories, music, and poetry, we make a difference. I am excited to introduce you to some of the most creative, courageous, open-hearted people that I know. And now it is my pleasure to introduce you once again to Ubaka Hill, one of our Life Center Stage teaching artists. She is a master drummer, performer, and international speaker. We are in this together. We are one.
Hello. My name is Ubaka Hill, and I'm here to play for you for a stigma-free world. Starlight, children of the night, hushed warriors who fight and fail and fall and frown in the school of life, a hand-me-down. turn into a butterfly on a winter's night. Why, that's a senseless flight. Deformed directions, wrongs are rights, ups are down, all things out of bound. Squares are round. You laugh and love and smile and cry, and that's no lie. Spirit of the wind, carry me. Spirit of the wind, carry me home. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to myself. Starlight, children of the night, you are reality deep beneath those labeled names. A life, a being, existence. Why, the universe is the depth of your soul. Like you and you and him and her, deep beneath those earthly clothes. Spirit of the wind, carry me. Spirit of the wind, carry me home. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to myself. Starlight, children of the night, search your souls anyway, for you are the Creator's child, a powerful force, the center of the sun. But, you must survive, of course, this painful flight, and be all the good you can be, stigma free, and light up the night and be free, 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 stigma free, 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 stigma free, 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 stigma free, 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 forever and ever and ever and ever. Spirit of the wind, carry me. Spirit of the wind, carry me home. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to myself.
Hi everyone. I really wish that we could be doing this in person, but alas, here we are doing it through video. And I can't believe that it's been a year since the last Breaking Stigma event. I feel like so much has happened since then. I'm sure you guys feel the same. But I feel like so much has happened in the efforts to actually break stigma. And especially during this time, during this quarantine, I'm finding that so many more people are opening up about their struggles, and so many more people are reaching out for help. And that is beautiful. That's amazing. And I know that there's also more people that are struggling because of this, but because of work that's been done, they know how to get help. They know where to go. And that is just, it's so beautiful to me. And I love that I get to be a part of this, because stigma is what held me back from getting help so long ago. And I don't want anyone to suffer like that. And so this event for me means so much, because it means that people don't have to suffer the way I did, that they understand that it's okay to have some sort of mental illness, that it's okay to have addictions and things that they struggle with, and that there's hope, that there's help, and that they can come out on the other side thriving. I suffered with postpartum depression and anxiety and postpartum rage, and it was the worst time in my life. It was complete anguish, like within my soul, all the time. And I always had this mask on, and no one knew. I remember when I finally went and saw a therapist after I had made a plan to take my life, and they told me, they're like, Jamie, you're one of the scary ones, especially because, like, really scary, because no one would have thought, no one would have known what was going on inside of you. Because I always had, this huge smile on my face, acting like I was totally put together, and it looked that way, but I wasn't on the inside. I wasn't. And so I want the stigma to be broken, and I let my kids know, hey, I'm having a hard day. I still struggle with anxiety. And I let my kids know, today's a hard day for me. I'm going to need your help. This is what I'm struggling with. My daughter deals with anxiety, and because of my openness, she's open with hers and talks about those things with people and lets us know, hey, mommy, today's a hard day for me, and I'm feeling really anxious and I don't know why. And then we know we can give her some extra grace and some extra help and extra support. And that's what I want for breaking stigma. I want everyone, from children all the way up to adults, to know that they do not need to hide, they do not need to be ashamed, and that they can ask for help, and they can get help. And there's all different kinds of help out there. This quarantine, I'm a coordinator with Postpartum Support International. I help connect women and their families to the support resources they need to get better during the perinatal period. And it is such a joy to be able to be that support person for these women and these families. Sometimes it's the husbands that reach out to me, sometimes it's a mother. But I have the resources and the ability to get them what they need, to get the help they need. And I'm so grateful for that. And it's something I wish I would have known about. It was around, but it just wasn't widely spread. And I have seen so much work done. I have seen so many people come together, especially within that community, where all over the country, these women who have struggled and suffered through postpartum depression, anxiety, psychosis, all of them, everything, that they are running support groups for free, with donated their time, so that women have a place to go each week, so that they can get the support they need, so that they know that they're not alone. And I think that's my biggest thing with this breaking stigma, is letting people know that they're not alone, because it's in those moments where you feel alone and isolated, that you feel like there's no way out, and that you're just going to keep sinking and falling into the darkness, and that there will never be light on the other side. And it's not true. There is. You just have to know where to look and to find those people that are holding their hands out, ready to grasp you and pull you out. I wrote a poem, and I never thought that I was a poet or anything. And I was I had just gotten out of the shower, and I just suddenly had all these thoughts just started coming to my head. And so I sat down, and in about 15 minutes, I had all this stuff written down, and I couldn't believe it. And I had questioned it, and I shared it with my therapist. She's the only one other than my husband who's seen this. So you guys get to hear it now. But it's about my feelings and what it was like for me about me and my struggles with postpartum depression and anxiety, and how I came out on the other side. So I'm going to read that for you now. It says, "If only I knew what would come, I would have prepared my armor, suited up for the task, had the help in place instead of feeling lost, unseen, a monster in the shadows waiting to be released. I was a hollow shell of who I used to be, wishing this role of mother was what I dreamed, what the world made me see. You didn't hear the thoughts swirling in my head, the silent words screaming out, 'You deserve to be dead.' All you saw was the mask and the vision of perfection the world said I needed to be. My heart was full of bruises, of heartache and agony, of wishing I never was, of crying out in the darkness all alone on my knees. I constantly prayed to my God above for relief of the anguish that had taken residence inside my soul. And one day it came. The silent words released, the help I yearned for while crying out on my knees. I began to see the light shining through all the storms that had clouded the joy that could be. I found hope in the future and healing in the past. And I knew that this newfound love of me as a mother could last. I no longer feel broken, unseen or unheard, lost in the shadows of silent suffering. My voice is lifted, my heart on display, as I share my story to help others find their way. I'm a light shining through the storm, bringing hope to the weary and love to the world. Sending love and peace to you during this time. We are in this together. We are one."
Hi, my name is Anna T. Breaking stigma to me means making sure that those around you who are looked over or unheard feel like they are welcome in a community, that it's not just about making people feel like you see them, but it's about really engaging them in the world and listening. Listening to me is probably the most important thing about breaking stigma. Let the person who you've stigmatized tell you how they feel. Let them tell you what you can do to help. When people feel invisible, it's really hard to feel a part of and to express oneself. So the song that I'm going to be doing with Anna Z is called Invisible. Stuck beneath the frozen sheet of ice above me, face and hands pressed up against a frosty window pane, watching happy people's lovers' souls pass over me. Nobody knows my shame. I wonder if they even know I have a name. Look at me now, look at me now, look at me now, look at me now.
It's invisible, many closed-minded, blinded, 'cause the visible inside doesn't show, flying everywhere, not know where to go, deal with too much, trying to slam me to the ground, inside, not making a sound, determined, strong and quick, getting all the rebounds, heart, body, disarray, and together, no surrender, forever. Yo, the ground is hard, oftentimes leaving scars, yeah, the ground is hard, oftentimes leaving scars, battle wounds, then you reach success. This is how my life goes, hit me with another test.
Look at me now.
Yo,
Look at me now. 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 Deep within the shadows of forgotten spirits, graying ashes yield to tiny embers that ignite, bursting into flames that melt away the darkness and somehow penetrate the eyes. It's time to begin.
The presence of your true essence is a blessing, undressing your mind. The algorithm of your mannerisms infuse beauty inside, breaking through barriers, coming out of that full of pride. Yo, I'll catch you on the flip side. I love chaos, but I want the night to end. I'm my worst enemy, you're also my best friend. Now is the time to find a way out from within. Yeah, now is the time to find a way out from within. Nothing can defeat me, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Yeah, look at me now.
Look at me now. Now.
Yeah, look at me now.
Look at me now.
Yeah, look at me.
Look at me now. 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 Look at me. Look at me now. Look at me. We are in this together. We are one.
Hey, my name is Chris Stokes. I'm gonna tell you a little bit of something about my recovery process. I was addicted to cocaine for approximately 18 and a half years. Through that process, I received 58 arrests, been down prison twice, been in a bunch of homes around about 9 times Delaney Hall approximately. Been clean now for about almost 8 years. Been 7 years, 11 months. July 29th will make 8 years for me. Been such a blessing. Since that time, I have spoken in halfway houses, jails, institutions, colleges, and everything. My recovery process has been a blessing. When I went down to Rutgers University to go speak, I dealt with the stigma. They looked at me like, what do he got to say? What do he got to say to us that's going to be profound, something that we can use? You know, people they look at you and they judge you from how you look and everything. It's real difficult, you know, living in these times and everything, just like right now, you know, what we dealing with, you know, being profiled and, you know, and all those type things, with everything that you do in life. You know, it covers different areas of your life, you know, when you're dealing with it. You know, like it is so hard, but it could be so easy too. You know, because I walk around with a smile on my face today, man, because I have dealt with it, you know, eternally, you know, emotionally, spiritually, you know. I have dealt with it physically, you know, being beat up, bullied, and all that old type thing. Like, it is hard being who we are today. Well, but one of the main things about being who we are today is that we can get up from it. We can learn from each other. You know, because everybody goes through things. One thing I found out, that fear, anger, and being uneducated, man, about our history and about their history, like I educated myself, but a lot of people haven't educated themselves, so they don't know. Like if they don't know, They go, only thing they know is what they have been taught. You know what I mean? So the stigma goes both ways. You know, if they haven't opened their mind up and become open-minded, man, and shared their heart, then it's gonna be very, very difficult. You know, the stigma of just dealing with life on life terms and this world we living in today is very, very difficult. You know, the only thing I could say about this whole thing is that we all are one, man. We all are human. We all got red blood. We all are one. Period. You know, we could do this, you know, but we got to come together. We really got to come together. We got to pass that. We got to pass that knowledge on. Now, we got to get that love up, man. We got to get some understanding, or try to bring some understanding to the tables as much as we can. Come on, y'all. Let's just become one. You know what I mean? Because that's what love's about. Becoming one, having an understanding, also an understanding. So let's be one, y'all. Later.
Hi, I'm Alicia Cook, and I'm a writer from New Jersey. I believe that the stigma still attached to drug addiction has become a public health concern in itself. I think that because it undoubtedly contributes to problems with mental health, access to healthcare, and willingness to even attend treatment in the first place. I am committed to combating the stigma still attached to this disease. I started speaking about how drug addiction affects entire families because at the time I couldn't find a voice for it, and I just knew that I couldn't be the only one. And now I am terrified that there isn't a single person left on the planet who doesn't love someone struggling with drug addiction. Enough is enough. We need to work together and eliminate the shame and change public opinion once and for all. I will now read a poem from my book, I Hope My Voice Doesn't Skip. It's about the moment everything changes in the life of a family that is now impacted by drug addiction. It's called An Untrained Eye Will Miss Everything. Life is split into before and after. We capture the befores while they are nows in photographs. I keep a photo tucked into my dresser mirror. On the surface, there is nothing remarkable about this photo of me and two people I love smiling under my mother's favorite tree in the backyard. But by the budding blossoms, I will always remember this photo was taken in early spring, on the precipice of not having to wear tights beneath dresses. There is nothing remarkable about this photo of me and two people I love smiling under my mother's favorite tree in the backyard. By the easy smiles on our faces, I could tell this was the last early spring before everything changed. That was the last photo taken before everything changed. There is nothing remarkable about this photo of me and two people I love smiling under my mother's favorite tree in the backyard. The photo is not centered or as focused as some of the photos we have taken since that day. Not all the changes since have been bad. However, we no longer smile that effortlessly anymore. I let this photo of me and two people I love smiling under my mother's favorite tree in the backyard greet me each morning because someone once told me that we live life forwards but remember it backwards, and that was one backwards day where I remember everything was actually fine. I like to remember we existed like that once, actually fine. It gives me hope that we could one day be that way again, actually fine. We are in this together. We are one.
So breaking stigma to me means being able to reach out for help without any consequence of retaliation from anyone. So this song is kind of about being afraid to reach out for help and then reaching out for it and benefiting from it. All these lessons I'm being taught, I hope I learn how not to forget, so I can stop going down these same old roads. Situations that constantly change, these situations that I'm leaving with shame. That's why I'm headed to my closing clap at the door. She's saying, son, you don't live here no more. She said the rent's been due for over a year. So I got what I could get in my arms, turned and headed straight for the door. That's when she said, what's your plan for me? And I said, sit alone and dream myself to death. And I blame everyone I'd ever left. I don't know if it can get worse than this. I don't think it can. Sick and tired of getting on that way. Something had to give, I had to change. And so I stepped away from everything I know. It wasn't working anyway. And when it did, the price to pay was heavier than any weight that's ever shown. When you sit alone and drink your days away, it'll take all you have and more than that. I don't find every day trying not to go back. So many have. We are in this together, we are one.
Stigma defines people by what makes them different from the so-called norms. Stigma labels people and traps them in a past where they don't belong. Stigma places people in a box of isolation. To break stigma involves an open mind and an understanding that people are more than differences, labels, and their past. I'm Alexa, and this is a poem about my anxiety and struggles with my past and accepting them even when I feel different, labeled, and as if sometimes I'm trapped within the past. The rain keeps coming down. It will stop eventually, and eventually it'll come back. Just like anxiety, the nerves, the pressure, the pounding in my head, it's all spinning, and sometimes it stops. I can breathe again. The world is clear again. I can breathe in and feel everything around me, and I can breathe out, let go of everything, and move on to the next task, the next day, the next moment. When the past comes back, I shove it down, and it comes back up, so I pretend it's not there. The pain of the past, it drives me, motivates me, shows me the way, shines a light to a better future, to better days, in hopes of great moments in time. There is only so much time, and it fades away quickly. Some choose to document it, and others let their pages burn. Light a fire and hold their story above it. Let the flame catch the paper until all of the words are gone. The burn marks are still there. It doesn't have to lead the way. The past always plays a part. It does not always have to push its way through. Have acceptance and continue on. Thank you. We are in this together. We are one.
Hey everyone, I'm Ellie and I'm going to talk to you about ways to cope with the quarantine. I know that everyone is probably really upset that they can't go outside or hang out with their friends or go to school. In my opinion, the best way to cope with the situation that we have is to do things that you love or maybe try something new. something that you never thought to try before. Me personally, I draw when I'm feeling down. Drawing is my passion. So what is your passion? Do you play a sport? Do you sing? Do you read? Do you write? What do? Do you collect something weird? So now this is the time to go and get in tune with your hobbies. Practice your sport in your yard. Go and read a book. Read all your books that you have. Go sing a song. Practice singing. Practice playing an instrument. Practice things that you love and enjoy to do, because this is the best time to focus on those. Art has always been my passion since I was young, and it's really a good way to cope with things. It's a good therapy. And when you find that thing, it's like the best thing ever. When you find something that makes you happy, now is the time to go and find it. And just remember that we are in this together. We are one.
So the song I'm going to be performing today is called Good for a While. So I wrote this song when I was going through a really dark period, and I was slipping back into a depressive episode, and it's really just about how, like, even if everything seems to be going okay and nothing, like, there's no outside factor that causes it, like, my mental illness can, like, sweep in and attack, just like anyone with, like, cancer or diabetes or another disease. Like, those, like, symptoms can just, like, appear, and then you have to deal with them. So I chose this song to perform for the Breaking Stigma event because I believe that stigma is a result of, like, a lack of understanding. And so I think that the way that we're gonna get rid of stigma is if we promote, like, learning about, like, what people with mental illness, like, go through, and how it's not their fault and it just happens sometimes, and, like, it sucks and you have to deal with it, but it's not it's not my choice to have a depressive episode. It's not my choice to have to struggle, and it's something that, like, needs to be understood, that it's real, and it's something that you need to deal with and treat like any other illness. So yeah, that's what the song is about, and also about how, like, things can get good again, and that mental health issues, like, they come up, but they also pass if you do what you need to do. And so, yeah, with all that rambling, here's Good for a While. Things have been good for a while. They get to see me smile into the midday sun, feeling like I belong. And I forgot just how it felt with this old familiar taste coming in as easy as it went on dread, coursing through my veins, and I can feel it edging back in, and I can't seem to make it stop. There's nothing to do, I'm trapped in my head, and I can't fight it off. I thought I was done with this, but I'm back at the start. Oh, somehow I forgot just what it's like in the dark, and I don't know how this will end. I keep on falling back. There's no moving hours and wasted minutes, and there's no getting back on track, and I can feel it creeping back in. There's no way to make it stop. There's nothing to do, oh, I'm trapped in my head and I can't fight this off. But things can get good again, and I know they miss my smile, but I'll make it out of the dark. Just be patient, wait a while.
I would just like to quote Gandhi, who said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." I think really to affect any change in the world, we have to start with ourselves, and then there's an outward effect. It's more than just speaking about it. You have to lead by example. And my goal is not to save the world, but possibly I get through to one person, and that one person may be able to help someone else, the trickle-down effect. But change really starts from within, and then maybe you could get it to your friends and family, and then they can spread it to a larger community. The song I am going to perform is called Tomorrow's Another Day. It's a little bit of my inventory. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Stay safe out there.
Woke up this morning smelling like sex and cigarettes. As I live next to her, I feel nothing but regret. 'Cause I should be at home feeling blessed. I got a good girl, but I'm laying next to my ex. I'm so sorry for everything I've done. I'm so sorry for the man I have become. I'm so sorry, I don't know what to say. Thank God, tomorrow's another day. I should have been there for my friends when things went wrong, but I was too busy sticking needles in my arm. Didn't even get to say goodbye, but when I die, I'll be right by your side. I'm so sorry for everything I've done. I'm so sorry for the man I have become. I'm so sorry, I don't know what to say. Thank God, tomorrow's another day. I was looking for answers in the bottom of a bottle, but it was never enough. The answers were standing right in front of me, in the simplest of stuff. Hands of friends that held me up, in the heart of a mother who taught me how my best is just enough. I'm so sorry for everything I've done. I'm so sorry for the man I have become. I'm so sorry, I don't know what to say. Thank God tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another day.
Hi, my name is Sylvie Minot. I am the founder of Syzygy Dance Project. We are a nonprofit organization that brings dance to everyone. We use dance as a healing and way of transformation through the body. I find that the stigma of mental illness has been one that has been going on for a long, long time. It seems like if you have a physical illness, nobody think of you as bad or there's something wrong with you. If you just will yourself out of it, you'll be okay. I was diagnosed as being a diabetic for a while now. There was no judgment about being a diabetic. But if you say you're an alcoholic or you suffer from any kind of mental illness at all, or any addiction, there's this stigma that says you're weak, that you somehow did not just pull yourself up and do it. There is a stigma that has been slowly diminished due to research and all that stuff, but still there's always, you can tell, there's always something behind it, whether it's internal or external. It's a lot harder to tell someone you're an addict or an alcoholic than it is to tell, oh, I'm a diabetic. And I find that it's really interesting and really, wanting to break that stigma, because somehow this ease of the body is more accepted than this ease of the mind. And the idea is that this ease of the mind needs help as much as the disease or the illness in the body. The illness in the mind and I like to say dis-ease, because that's what it feels like. It's like something that is no longer functioning, that is no longer working. And as we bury it, as we make it a secret, as we hide it, it just gets worse and worse. But if we can talk about it, express it, reach out to others who also, understands what we're talking about. Support groups are such an amazing thing. That we have support group for cancer patients, diabetic patients. And so support group for people with mental illness or addiction is so valued. And it has to start from the place of like, it's okay. It's like acknowledging that any shame or any guilt that is inside the body somewhere in there, and being able to kind of release that and speak up about it and ask for help. Ask for whether it's, oh, let's dance together, let's talk to each other, let's meditate together, let's pray together. Anything that shatters the illusion that mental illness is not okay, shatters the illusion that I have to keep it secret. Anything that shatters the illusion of me against the world and the world against me, that brings together this place of like, no, we are all in this together, whether we have dis-ease of the mind or dis-ease of the body or dis-ease of the spirit. So my work has been to really use movement as bringing all that together. It's like, mind, body, and spirit, we function as one. And to shatter the stigma is, how do we come together as one and not judge each other for the disease that we have. Thank you for listening. It takes courage to break the stigma. We can do it together. We can speak up together. We are in this together, and we are one.
I was going to share a little bit about my history experience of breaking stigma. I am in recovery, and I also suffer from mental illness. I shouldn't say suffer because I don't suffer anymore. I am an active participant in my recovery, and it is a miracle that I am sitting before you today. It has taken a long time to get to where I am. It has taken a lot of work, and every second has been worth it. It hasn't been easy, and I've had to overcome a lot of hardships, including being able to share my experience, strength, and hope in some types of meetings, because people were very uncomfortable sometimes hearing my story and some of the things that I would share about, some of the things that I was thinking or feeling, and made other people really uncomfortable. But what I had found throughout my journey so far is that I need to sit in my truth, and I need to be honest about where I'm at, because it helps me, and it also helps other people who are suffering from the same things that I am. So whoever you are out there, I know this is reaching you, and this message is for you, because I am living proof that recovery works and that you can overcome your mental illness and live an amazing life. This song that we're going to do for you is called Higher. It is about my journey through bipolar depression, wanting to end my life and deciding not to do so and coming out the other side. I hope you enjoy the song. Friends and lovers that I knew let go a simple truth. Photographs shattered on the floor. Seeds of yesterday take my breath away. They all come together, yield a perfect storm. Take me higher, touch the night, dance with the shadow, he'll make everything alright. Take me higher into the light. No, I won't be coming home tonight. A whisper in the breeze brings me to my knees, and I
We're all in this together.
We are one.
Here at CARES, the Center for Addiction, Recovery, Education, and Success, we provide peer recovery support,
Family services,
telephone recovery support,
multiple pathways of recovery,
fun in recovery,
Narcan trainings,
virtual support.
I Break Stigma by spreading education and awareness about substance use disorder.
I break stigma by showing that recovery is possible.
I break stigma by choosing empowerment over shame.
I break stigma by recovering out loud and being a mom in recovery. No shame in my game.
I break stigma by encouraging others to be kinder to themselves and to leverage their God-given talents.
I break stigma by supporting people whether they choose to use drugs or alcohol or not.
I break stigma by advocating for others and being a voice for the voiceless.
Give us a call at CARES at 973-625-1143 for 24/7 peer support.
Or visit our website at caresnj.org.
Or our Instagram.
Or follow us on LinkedIn.
Or on Facebook at Prevention is Key.
We are in this
together.
We are
one.
CARES has been there for me for day one. I can go in there and always have somebody I can talk. There's a peer that I can always talk to no matter what. I have different peers I talk to for different things. CARES is a safe zone for me, non-judgmental. I'm welcome anytime, whether I used or not. They've helped my recovery. They've been there to support me the whole time through. They've helped me get into programs when I was having trouble, and they were still there when I got out. And they're always there. I can text a peer anytime, any day, and have somebody that would be there to support me. We are all in this together. We are one.
Hello, everybody. Peace and healthy blessings to you guys. My name is Yasmin, and I would like to say thank you so much to Vicki Mulligan of Life Center Stage, as well as CARES Prevention is Key, for inviting me to speak today to you about stigma. And first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. Excuse me, I'm sweating over here. Like I said, my name is Yasmin. Most people know me as Miss Yaz Roar on Facebook. And I have an organization. I'm the CEO of an organization that's called ROAR. ROAR stands for Reach Out Addiction and Recovery. What we do is we go out and we help other organizations in the community, particularly in Essex County, because there's a huge need there. And the need is that we have sober living houses for women there, and they're in need of clothing. So we have people who donate clothing and items and shoes and suits and so forth, and we take them to other sober living houses in the urban community to help those women who are trying to come home and recover from substance use disorder. We also go down in Newark Penn Station, which is pretty dangerous. You have different people, the walks of life that are there. Some people, I like to call them our neighbors without addresses. Some people call them homeless. I don't like to give them that label. And some of them, we go out and we feed the people without addresses, our neighbors without addresses. We feed them food, and we take food also in containers to them in Penn Station, because some of the people in Penn Station unfortunately can't come out always to meet us. Some of them have no legs, they're in wheelchairs. Some of them are still suffering from the disease of addiction and maybe too embarrassed to come out and be judged by others. Some don't have any legs, some are just laying around. Some have mental health disease. And of course, that's another stigma, that sometimes people will judge them for. And it's funny because when I was told to do this, I decided I needed to look up, what is stigma? So let's be clear of the definition of stigma. So stigma is a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. Like for instance, going to jail, or for instance, having the disease of addiction. They would say we're drug addicts, a lot of times they say, we're lazy, we don't want to work. There's just so much judgment in so many different ways, in so many different areas. It's such a shame that even I've experienced that myself at my job. I've been there for 17 years now, and unfortunately, I've been clean for 10 years. By the way, my drug of choice was alcohol. And I have a little over 10 and a half years clean, and I still get faced with the judgmental looks and get treated as though I'm still in my disease of addiction, even though I have 10 and a half years clean. And it's a shame because I worked very hard on myself, in recovery. And, what happens is, people that suffer from this disease and this stigma, we work on ourselves and we get well and we get better. And unfortunately, there's people out there who just stay stuck or stupid and stay where they're at, and that's just the way that it is. While we get well, they stay sick, and so we're being judged by the sick people and we're getting better, unfortunately. And that's just the way it is. And hopefully we can all come together though and stop stop it. This stigma of what addiction should look like or what mental health should look like. I've had to deal, I have to say this, I'm a little nervous and I really need to be honest about this because this is part of the stigma. When I was asked to do this, I was extremely nervous about doing this and putting my organization out there with everything that's going on in the world today as a Black woman, and being judged or my business suffering the consequences because I'm being honest and open about where I am and how I feel about even the stigma of being Black. There's even a stigma when it comes to race and the color of my skin, and being a Black woman in this business, who's also in recovery and trying to recover from addiction as well as mental health, as well as bulimia. I've had bulimia for 30 years and I just stopped on my own 3 years ago. And it's been very difficult to come out and speak about these things, but I think that I need to be honest in my truth to be able to maybe give somebody hope, maybe they can do it too if they see that I'm doing it. And when I tell people that I have this bulimia, I get from people, you're Black people don't have that. Like that, that's the stigma. This is the type of thing that we're talking about. Like this disease and mental health and homelessness and it just has no color. It has no color. It doesn't care. Anybody can go to jail. Anybody can be affected by the disease of addiction. Whether it's alcohol, whatever your drug of choice is, Unfortunately, I can't erase this color. I can't take this off. This stays with me everywhere I go. And, everything that's going on today with, George Floyd and what happened with him, I have to speak about that because I just wanted to let everybody know and that we have to come together and we have to unite. And just because I bring it up and just because I mention it, does not mean, it means that I'm pro my people and I'm pro-Black. But being pro-Black doesn't mean I hate other races. I embrace everyone. I want us to unite. I want us to come together. I want us to be one. Please, we have got to unite and come together and try to break this stigma of life in general when it comes to mental health, when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to bulimia and anorexia and race and equality and compassion and empathy. But I thank you for listening to me so much, and I just would like to say to you, come on and join me. We are one in this together. We are one. Come on and join me. We are in this together. We are one. Say it with me. Come on and join me. We are in this together. We are one. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope that you all please stay safe. And I love you. Thank you so much. Miss Yaz Roy is signing out. Bye. Peace and blessing. Mwah. Hugs.
Stigma is something I personally really struggled with, even just towards myself. I remember talking to someone a few years ago, and when I mentioned I have borderline personality disorder, she said, "Yeah, I totally see that," but I didn't want to say anything. There is so much stigma surrounding it, and I try to talk as openly as I can about my illness so people can understand that it doesn't mean the person with it is a bad person. It simply means they were wired differently, and that's what this poem I'm going to read is about. I was watching the movie The Joker. It's about his backstory. His backstory is that he's mentally ill, and I fear when people hear I'm mentally ill, they think I'm the villain of their story. I don't think I have that much impact. I mean, I'm barely the protagonist of my own story. Half the time, I'm my own enemy. I don't think I have enough time or energy to ruin anybody else's life, too. I'm more than my illness, though. Please know that. I don't care what you've heard, what you think about it, or about your preconceived notions. I'm not bad, because my brain was wired differently. My brain is not wrong, and it is not bad, nor does it make me bad. I am not your villain. I am not your bad guy to your superhero story. My mental illness is just that. It's mine, and I am not a bad guy, at least not because I'm mentally ill. We are in this together. We are one.
I'm really grateful to once again have the opportunity to be part of Breaking Stigma. It's so important that when people are already having a bad time and struggling, they're not feeling worse or feeling embarrassed or feeling unable to have it be safe for them to say that they're having a hard time. All of us go through unexpected things in life, and none of us can really say, that if the worst things that could happen did happen, that we'd really be okay. But we would definitely want people to be there with us and for us. And so I've had my own issues and my own challenges in life, and I'm so grateful that I was able to tell somebody and to get help and to be here with you to share this message today. This song is called You Are. You are worth fighting for. You are gonna be alright. You are so much more than you know you are. We feel so ugly when we hurt, but every flower is a seed that broke under the dirt. We feel so lost when we cry, but our tears paint the path out of the pain when they dry. And you are worth fighting for. You are, yeah, gonna be alright. You are so much more than you know you are. Life rarely walks the line. The road through the days, how she twists and she winds. We never get to see the map till we stop, take a break, take a breath and look back. So when the darkness comes like it will, when the darkness comes like it may, when the darkness comes, when the darkness comes, after the darkness there'll come the day. If life says 9 times down and we get up 10, we never give up, we just try again. Life says 9 times down, we get up 10. We never give up, we just try again. 'Cause we are worth fighting for. We are gonna be alright. We are so much more than we know we are. So much more than we know. We are so much more than we know we are. We are all in this together. We are one. Be well.
My song "And Again" is about a couple patients I had at the rehab I work at who unfortunately lost their lives due to opioid overdose. It's sort of a testament to them and to remember them, and as well to give hope to those who are currently struggling, that they can make it through this just like I did.
She found the love of her life, even though it nearly killed her, it's alright. Body weak, the desperation in her eyes, just a bundle, it'll get her through the night. I said I know what it's like, want something so much you could die. Always saying it'll be the last time, always knowing but believing the lies. And again, and again, and again, and again. It hurts to lose the only thing that keeps you going. I know you're stronger than you think. Just keep on moving. It's worth the waiting. He's locked in a cell, only 19, but he's been through so much hell. Overdoses, getting kicked out of his house. Doesn't know what he will do when he gets out. I said I know how it felt to feel as if the devil cast a spell, when living was a burden in itself, to not even feel welcomed in your town. And again, and again, and again, and again. It hurts to lose the only thing that keeps you going. I know you're stronger than you think. Just keep on moving. It's worth the waiting. I know there's something waiting after all this pain has faded. I can't take it, all these wasted lives I've seen inside of coffins, mothers crying. I'm just thinking I can't take this happening again.
We are in this together. We are one.
We're October Rose.
And we broke the stigma by releasing our song Different Kinda High, which touches on a topic that not a lot of people want to discuss, and that's opioid abuse.
The mission of this song is to create awareness around this topic and hopefully bring about positive change. You can find out more about what we're doing on our website, which is octoberrosemusic.com.
This is Different Kinda High.
college came and the precious bill. She tried to escape with a little white pill, and an angel fell from grace. And now this whole town's gathered round, dropping roses in the ground. Goodbye. Back home from a second tour, broken bones couldn't fight no more. He had to camouflage his pain. The doctor gave him a pack of pills. When they ran out, it was all downhill. He pushed the poison through his veins. And now this whole town's gathered round. 21 shots ringing out. Goodbye, goodbye to the hometown hero we used to know back when. Don't cry, don't cry. Just fold your hands and look up to the sky.
We are in this together.
We are one.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael Cavallo. I'm a person in long-term recovery. What that means to me is I haven't felt it necessary to pick up a drink or a drug since June 28th, 2016. I first off want to thank Vicki Mulligan and everybody from CARES and Life Center Stage and Morris County Prevention is Key for inviting me to talk a little bit and perform at the Breaking the Stigma community dinner. I have had the honor and the privilege of both working and volunteering at CARES and with Morris County Prevention is Key, and doing a lot of work with Vicki Mulligan and Lorraine Farrow at Life Center Stage and Journey Through Song, and a lot of different ways that we reach out to the community to break down stigma and break down walls. You know, I heard somebody say to me once that they think that stigma kills more addicts and alcoholics than the actual drugs and alcohol do. You know, and I can understand that. I can, on a deep personal and spiritual level, understand that, because you know, when Vicki asked me to do this event, and we always talk about stigma, and you know, I had a concept of what it meant and what it was connected to, but I decided, you know, when we were going through this process of preparing that I would look up stigma and look up different synonyms for it and kind of get a better understanding for the word. And I was reading this book called The Body Keeps the Score. And there was a quote in the book, and it went something like, the greatest source of our suffering are the lies that we tell ourselves. And stigma by definition is a mark, it's a mark of disgrace. It's a person who is regarded as shameful or unacceptable, and the biggest lie that I told myself growing up through my addiction, trying to get in recovery and back to addiction, and that merry-go-round that I couldn't seem to get off was that I wasn't enough, that I was unacceptable. And I was, I've been in recovery programs and fellowships that told me that acceptance was the answer to all of my problems, but I couldn't accept myself. So basically, I became the problem. I embodied stigma, that mark of shame blinded me to so many graces that were given to me my entire life, and so many people that reached out because I felt like I wasn't enough. And it really took collectively a lot of things, but just the right place, right time. I believe that God works through people, and when I was right around 6 months in recovery at Alina Lodge in Blairstown, New Jersey, one of the workers there who was instrumental in my spiritual awakening, he told me that I was enough. And he said it to me in a way when I was at my lowest there. And I believed him, and he suggested that I write it down every single day on my journal, my inventory. I am enough, I am enough. And, I did that for years, my first couple of years, and I embodied being enough, knowing that I would fall short every day, knowing that I don't have all the answers, and frankly, I don't want them, but that honesty, that open-mindedness, that willingness to keep getting up and putting one foot in front of the other every day is huge. So this is my song that I think greatly speaks to not only the stigma of addiction, but overcoming that. And the biggest way that we can do that is reach out our hand, to another person and tell them that they are enough. So this song is called I Stand at the Door. Woo! My neighbors are probably wondering what I do down here because we've done a few of these events, but it is well worth it. The song's called I Stand at the Door. Check it out. What's up, how you doing? It's been a long time coming, then I called and told you that I'm all done running down that long dark road. Never seen no sun and where the good die young. We don't have no fun anymore. I've been begging for a chance to change, instead of begging for some change in the pouring rain. I know a ton of other people going through the same. So when I tell you that I feel you, dog, I feel your pain. I can't relate, it took a lot for me to crack this door. Took my father finding me on the bathroom floor. It took my mother crying right next to the ambulance door. But most of all, I do not have to live like this no more. So when I'm calling, the person on the line is me. I'm so sorry for the awful things you had to see. I'm finally growing to the man you always thought I could be. So now I'm reaching out my hand to those who want to be free. Come on. If you're gonna take a stand together. Cause I don't wanna lose another bro or sis forever. Put your hands in the air, put your hands together. This is a war, I will stand at the door. Lord, maybe a channel of your peace right now, cause we're losing too many men on the street right now. You ain't catching up on news, you should turn it on, cause we lost more people than Vietnam. In the past year, people have died from ODs, who started off with smoking blues and OCs. Anyone from Kenya to Prague, the OGs are affected like a biblical plague that won't leave. The reason why I'm writing this rhyme, cause I lived it. The curtain closing in on my life being so vivid. The grace, love, all the support that was given. The only
reason I'm on this earth and still living. I really feel like I've got another chance to pick an addict up who's falling on their knees and hands. Cause so many did for me when I refused to believe that giving back the love against the only way to receive. Come on. If you're gonna take a stand together. Cause I don't wanna lose another bro or sis forever. Put your hands in the air, put your hands together. This is a war, I will stand at the door one more time. If you're gonna take a stand together. Cause I don't wanna lose another bro or sis forever. Put your hands in the air, put your hands together. This is a war, I will stand at the door.
Thank you for your kindness, and thank you for your love, cause it's the only thing that's stronger than a drink or drug. If we work together, our burdens cut in two. So take my hand and I will do my best to pull you through. Cause I know the struggle and you feel the pain. If we put our hands together, we can break those chains. Cause I know the struggles and you feel the pain. If we take a stand together, we can make change.
We are in it together. We are one.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Farrow, and I'm one of the teaching artists for Life Center Stage. Breaking stigma is probably the most important thing we can do right now in the world and for the world, especially in the current climate we're in. I work with artists and students in recovery and dealing with mental wellness that I see struggle every single day just to be part of society without being judged or marginalized in some way. Maybe it's our conditioning, maybe it's our upbringing. Whatever it is, it's learned. And if it's learned, we can unlearn it. I grew up in a world where people who did drugs were bad. Oh my God. I had no idea about the power of addiction until I knew my own addictions. We have to see the world through the eyes of the struggling in order to support a community as one. Our compassion has to be way bigger than our fear of the unknown and what we don't know about others in order to understand. Bigger than our upbringing, bigger than our conditioning. These days I live in the epicenter of the protests in New York City. In fact, the past week, all of those wonderful protests have gone on right below my window. And I've had the privilege of seeing history in the making. We must stand for one another. If we do, then we stand for the world. And if we do that, then we can be one world. One heart, one love, that's big enough, can do anything worth imagining. One hand outstretched can be connected to everyone. It's a chain reaction.
As we walk this common ground, each of us is homeward bound. One by one by one, we're one world. No war, no shame, no one to blame for our loneliness. Can you picture this? One dream alive, won't be divided by ignorance. It's our time to dance.
And as we walk this common ground,
Each of us is homeward bound. One by one by one, we're one world. There are no lines, no boundaries between us. Once we can see beyond our own fears, this is the time to let our hearts lead us to love, so we can be one world. One day, our chance to make it reality. You know it's right with you and me, yeah. And as we walk this common ground, each of us is homeward bound. A piece of heaven we have found. One by one by one by one, we're one One world, one day, our chance to make it reality. One world, one day, our chance to make it reality.
Hi, everyone. It's Barb Kaufman again, Prevention is Key. And I want to take a minute to thank all of you, especially to those men and women who have allowed us to see them and listen to their stories and learn a part of their experiences with stigma in our world. I thank you too for being a part of our second annual Breaking Stigma event. I can't tell you how happy I am to have been able to partner again with Life Center Stage, with CARES, and with so many other community organizations. I'd like now to ask everyone to please participate in a moment of silence to recognize the injustices we see in our world today, in our community, in our country, and to realize the burden of stigma that surrounds them always. I'd like to invite you now to participate in our Breaking Bread, Breaking Stigma dinner discussion panel. You can find us right here on Facebook or a Zoom panel. We'll start at 5 o'clock and hopefully can talk with our panelists more about what we've heard today. Thank you again so much.